Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm in my A7 and I've got the whole day to myself, so I'm going to go out on a road trip. I'm going to bring the car up with fuel. I'm going to drive it as far as I can. Probably end up towards North Wales through Snowdon and whatnot, get some real good scenery, and you know, might turn this into like a bit of a travel vlog as well. I've not really done one of them, and it's probably going to be a nice way to end 2023 by driving this A7 and kind of see what it's really like, because it is meant to be like a GT car. I am on my own, I'll have my music on, I'll be driving the car, and I really just want to see how this car performs, you know, through the various drive select modes, how it is going to be on MPG. I've got a good idea what it's going to be on MPG anyway, but I'm going to bring all of that to the channel for you guys as well, in case, you know, you're kind of wondering what these kind of cars are like. Now, these cars have been around for a while. They have discontinued the 50 TDI, which is this one. There's plenty of these on the used market, so in case you are looking to get into one of these, I'll try and bring everything together in this vid for you guys as well, in terms of what it's like to live with driving it out there on those kind of long journeys. And yeah, let's just see how it kind of goes. The car's got half a tank of fuel, and let's just see how this kind of goes. So we've got a full tank now, brimmed right to the top. I've got a range of 630 miles based on my previous driving style. That should be more like about 700 really, 750 even. We'll see how we kind of get on. So just a couple of updates on the car. Steering wheel feels absolutely fantastic. I've had it decontaminated, so all of the shininess has gone, all the greasiness has gone as well, so it feels absolutely fantastic to hold and drive on a daily basis. I'm going to maintain this kind of look, periodically give it a decontamination and a clean using the same products. I'll link in my last vid on that in the description of this vid, so you can go back and see how I clean the steering wheel and the process in itself. The other key update is I was running 15mm spacers all around on the car. I've now had them removed because I wasn't really getting a good feel of those spacers on this car. It's really odd because I've always ran spacers on most of my cars and never really felt anything like that, but on this particular car it just felt like there was a lot of that Ackerman effect going on, where when you've got the car on full lock, the front wheels just felt like they were skipping quite a bit. Don't really understand why that was. And also on like everyday drive, whenever like I'm say taking a corner or going around a roundabout, it just felt like I was giving the car a little bit more input onto the steering just to make the car turn. So it kind of felt a bit like the car was just understeering most of the time. So they've now come off and the car's back to, you know, factory sort of setup on the steering and the wheels. So it just feels a lot more normal per se. So yeah, I think I'm not going to really run any spacers on this car anymore and just maintain the current look of the car, which I don't think is too bad anyway, but there we go. So that's a quick update as to how the car is kind of set up at the moment. So guys, very quickly I just want to talk to you about the engine and the gearbox in this car. Now the engine is a 3-litre V6 TDI engine, 286 horsepower, 620 Newton meters of torque. We all know that anyway because I've been talking about this car on my channel for quite a long time. It's mated to an 8-speed ZF gearbox, and a lot of press, and I've even said it, that the ZF gearbox in this car, but you know, compared to the ZF in like say a BMW, the software is quite different, so it's more responsive in a BMW, let's say around town, whereas in this one there is quite a bit of a delay. You kick down and it thinks about it for about, you know, a second or so, and then obviously the car starts moving. But the best thing about this gearbox on the motorway, it's completely opposite. So for example, in a BMW like a 5 Series or even a 3 Series like the G20 for example, it'll try and make use of the torque rather than shifting the gear down, and it can get a bit frustrating in one of those cars. Whereas here it's like you're in 8th gear, you prod the throttle a little bit, it'll just shift down to 7th and, you know, get you going rather than trying to you know, make use of the torque. I mean, it's got plenty of torque anyway, but yeah, I just like the way this gearbox is set up for the motorway in this A7. The weather is absolutely atrocious. You got so much standing water and whatnot, but I'm okay. I've got a Quattro, but I've got summer tyres, so I'm not really sure how this is going to pan out, but at least I've got a Quattro. I've got something to play with here. But yeah, there's so much standing water on the road in areas where, you know, you just got to be really careful. But overall guys, I think having Quattro is pretty decent. So it's on roads like this where you can actually tell how wide the A7 actually is. You've got a wall on one side, you've got a narrow lane, and it's pretty much taking up all of the space. I mean, the car in front of me is like an A-class, and there's a bit more space around that car. But with this thing, it's pretty much right by the curb on that side, and right on the lane on the right hand side. So it's quite a wide car for these type of roads. So I'm just entering North Wales. Some of the roads that I've just come down, the national speed limit roads, they're very challenging because you've got like a rock wall on one side, single lane carriageway at national speed limit, and you've got trucks and pickup trucks and whatnot coming the other way. But I do prefer driving on these kind of roads because I love a challenge, especially when it comes to driving. And on top of that, I'd rather be driving on these roads than be stuck in traffic. So it is what it is. But there's a lot of scenery that we're going to capture, like I've said many times in this video already, further down into Wales. So I'm really excited about that as well. The handling on this A7 is pretty agile for the size of this car. You can really tell based on these kind of driving roads that I'm on. And it is fairly like sharp for this type of car. I mean, there is body roll, but it's not like a crazy amount. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Now this is where you feel the width of this car, and that's a left-hand drive car as well. Okay, so when I was talking about challenging driving roads, I mean, these are way more challenging driving roads than what I'm used to driving in those country lanes where I'm from. Just gotta be quite careful, obviously, not drive like an idiot around here. But equally, you know, these roads are quite fun as well. And there's loads of standing water everywhere. It's just blasting through it. And the rain is just belting down today, makes it even more like difficult to enjoy the drive. But to be honest, I'm actually enjoying these roads anyway. So I've been like to these sides a number of times over the years, so kind of know what to expect. It's just a different car this time, a car that's quite wide, which makes it all that a little bit more exciting and challenging. Brakes. I mean, my car's done about 32,800 miles right now, but it's been well maintained over the time I've definitely had it, and even from the previous owner. So, you know, it's as good as it is for these miles. Look at that view, for example. Now, where do you get that view? I just want to pull up again and actually show you some of these views right now. Let's see if there's like a lay-by somewhere. So as you saw, it's absolutely amazing, the scenery. I love this place. Roads are absolutely brilliant, they're smooth as anything. There's a lot of standing water obviously, but it's like chucking it down like no man's biz today. But honestly, I always enjoy coming out here for the roads, the driving experience and all of that, and I'm going to continue doing that for the next few hours out here before I then head back. So yeah, we got plenty more to cover at the moment, and I really do hope that you have been enjoying these kind of roads, this type of like vlog today out here in Wales. It's something that I wanted to do over the few days that I had off from work, and yeah, I'm just going to carry on enjoying it. I got the car now in dynamic mode as well, just so that it can feel a little bit more fluid around these kind of corners as well. I'm going to try and get quite high up. Let's see if we can get some clouds and some pictures as well. But yeah, just check these roads out. I mean, they're absolutely like gorgeous, you know, the best tarmac. But again, as you can see, the road's only as wide as this car. There is quite a bit of standing water as well, so just got to be a little bit careful. Car's definitely feeling alive in dynamic mode. So I've been driving for about an hour and the weather is absolutely horrible. It's going to be raining pretty much all day, but I've got a Quattro, but I've got summer tyres like I said, so you know, they're working so far, which isn't too bad. I mean, the car's not going to fall over anyway. I mean, these are just standard like driving conditions really in the UK, but from a comfort point, the car is absolutely spot on. You know, I've done long journeys in this car before and I've never really got out the other side feeling like it's been a tired journey. I've been doing like the road speed, I'm stuck behind some cars at the moment, but you know, everything is just going as well as it can. I'm listening to my favourite radio station. I've got like, say, still a full tank of fuel in the car. I'm averaging just under 46 mpg, which isn't too bad based on the type of driving that we've been doing. These roads are absolutely amazing, yeah, but equally they are quite dangerous as well. And the reason why they're dangerous is because when they are so wet like the way they are, you just don't know when the car is actually gonna slip away, and it can pretty much happen. And like literally you got some barriers, but imagine if you're slipping away somewhere here, you're gonna end up over there in that ditch. So you have to be quite careful as well, and obviously quite responsible in how you're driving on these roads. It's not a racetrack at the end of the day. It is just like a, you know, a public road. But yeah, I absolutely love this scenery and, you know, the way these roads are made and everything. So glad I made the trip out today. So I just pulled up into like a lay-by. I've been driving for about 2.5 hours. I'm not exactly tired, really comfortable drive so far. I've just done over 100 miles. Car still got a full tank of fuel and showing over 600 miles of range left. This car is a full-on GT car in my opinion. I mean, it's effortless to drive. you know, it's got the performance, lots of torque, and it just cruises along, you know, hence why I'm probably not as tired as I should be after driving for about 2.5 hours thereabouts. I must say though, this car, I've mainly just driven it, like say, to commute to work and the odd kind of road trip here and there, but nothing like major. But today the car is definitely in its element. The Quattro system in this atrocious weather as well is really, like, you know, giving me the confidence to kind of push it through the corners as well. I'm gonna just hop out because I want to get a bit of fresh air. It is chucking it down, so we've got my like jacket, so I'm gonna put that on. But yeah, I'll show you like the surrounding areas as to where I'm kind of just parked up, and I might just take a few snaps for the gram as well. I'm gonna wrap up here, guys. The weather out there is terrible. I'm getting blown away by the wind when I'm trying to take some scenic pictures for you guys. I'm getting battered by the hailstones, but overall I'm glad that I made the journey out here today because I've really been able to enjoy the drive. I've been able to enjoy my A7 as well outside of my normal commute. The car is fantastic. It is a GT car. It's proven that today. It's been effortless to drive. But there is something that I will point out to you guys. There was a moment when I was really pushing this car, like, you know, off camera, and I was like going through like some real tight bends and whatnot, and there was a moment where the car literally understeered because the road was quite tight, the road was really wet, a lot of brown came out, and if it wasn't for the Quattro and like the traction control, I think I would have probably been completely off the road. Now the car is running on summer tires. Quattro will help you out to a point, but I wouldn't rely heavily on it. You got to still be careful even though you got a Quattro, and if you got summer tires on, like, you know, days like this. Winter tires, Quattro I think would be absolutely fine. But having said that, this car has been absolutely fantastic today. It's done 32,500 miles, well 32,800 miles more like, but it's a car that I could easily like be doing 100,000 miles in. It's proven its point today. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a like, share, subscribe. If you have come out to North Wales, you know what I'm on about. If you haven't, it's definitely worth a visit in whatever car you got. The scenery out here is absolutely brilliant. Anyway guys, I'm gonna see you on the next one. Take care, bye.